Hello, everyone, welcome back to the channel Future Force. Skies and Skills, please subscribe and like my videos because today we are going to discuss one of the most shocking and breaking events of the modern war theater. The news that Ukrainian drones have turned Moscow into a firestorm has taken the entire world by surprise, and this event is not only a reflection of the escalating conflict, but also a clear demonstration of how technology, strategy, and determination can combine to reshape the battlefield of 21st century. In this video, we will go deep into every layer of this story and analyze the situation from multiple perspectives, including the exterior and structural impact of the strikes, the interior damage and the chaos that followed, the performance of the drones and the Russian defense systems, the safety features that were either effective or completely failed, the unique selling points of this Ukrainian strategy that have shaken the balance of power, the estimated cost and price of this operation compared to its damage, and finally a conclusion that looks at the future of this conflict and lessons that nations around the world will be drawing from this shocking event. When the first reports came in about drones flying over Moscow, many dismissed them as minor incidents, something that Russia would quickly intercept and control. But the reality was far more dramatic. The exterior scenes of Moscow showed flames engulfing buildings, skyscrapers lit with massive fires, smoke clouds rising into the night sky, and emergency sirens echoing across the capital. This exterior view of Moscow transformed from a city of control and authority into a battlefield spectacle, proving that no city, no matter how fortified, can be considered completely safe from modern warfare. The drones managed to penetrate layers of Russian air defense and cause visible destruction that the world could not ignore. Streets were filled with debris, fire trucks struggled to control the blazes, and the skyline of Moscow was changed for hours as the firestorm raged on. But beyond the exterior, what truly shook the Russian leadership and its citizens was the interior impact. Inside the buildings that were struck, the level of destruction was chaotic and horrifying. Office interiors were shattered, glass windows exploded inward, ceilings collapsed, and the smell of smoke and burning electronics filled the air. Employees and residents ran for safety, trying to navigate staircases filled with dust, broken concrete, and flickering lights. The interior destruction tells us that this was not just a superficial strike meant to show power. These drones were equipped with explosives powerful enough to tear through walls, destroy high-value assets, and paralyze the daily functioning of one of the most tightly controlled cities in the world. For those trapped inside the buildings during the strikes, the sense of vulnerability was overwhelming. It revealed that Moscow's infrastructure, believed to be shielded and modern, was in fact fragile in the face of persistent drone technology. The psychological effect of this interior chaos is just as significant as the physical destruction. Citizens who once felt safe in the heart of Russia's capital now live with the realization that the war has reached their very homes and offices. Now, let us turn to performance, because the heart of this story is not just the destruction, but the technological competition that is unfolding. Ukrainian drones have shown extraordinary performance in multiple ways. First, their range demonstrated that they can travel hundreds of kilometers undetected, crossing through Russian radar systems and air defense networks. Second, their precision highlighted the advancement in targeting and guidance systems. These were not random strikes. The drones seemed to have been programmed to hit sensitive and symbolic targets that would send a clear message to both Russia and the international community. Third, the coordination of multiple drones launched simultaneously proved that Ukraine is capable of carrying out complex and synchronized attacks that overwhelm even advanced defense systems like Pantsir or S-400, which Russia has often boasted about. The drone's speed, agility, and relatively low cost compared to the damage they created is a new benchmark in modern conflict. The performance analysis clearly shows that the era of expensive fighter jets and large missiles is now being challenged by smaller, smarter, and more unpredictable systems. Safety features, on the other hand, tell a different story. On one side, the drones themselves were designed with stealth and evasive safety measures for the mission. Many of them are built using composite materials that make them difficult to detect by radar. They are small enough to evade heat signature sensors, and their flight paths can be pre-programmed to avoid detection until the last moment. From Ukraine's perspective, the drones had safety features that ensured mission success. But from Russia's side, the safety features of Moscow were tested and largely failed. Despite having multiple layers of air defense, the systems could not intercept every drone. The so-called dome of safety around Moscow was punctured multiple times, leaving citizens unprotected. Fire alarms and emergency evacuation protocols worked, but were not sufficient to prevent chaos and panic inside the affected buildings. This shows that safety features are only as effective as the ability of leadership to anticipate modern threats. One of the most important aspects of this event is the unique selling points of the Ukrainian strategy. The first unique point is psychological warfare. By striking the heart of Moscow, Ukraine has shown Russia that the war is no longer limited to front lines in Donetsk or Kharkiv. The message is clear: even the capital of Russia is vulnerable. The second point is cost-effectiveness. Ukraine used relatively inexpensive drones to cause billions of dollars in damage, creating an asymmetric advantage that Russia cannot easily counter. The third point is media impact. Images and videos of skyscrapers burning in Moscow spread instantly across the world, creating a global narrative that favors Ukraine and pressures Russia diplomatically. The fourth point is technological adaptation. Ukraine has managed to adapt commercial drone technology into powerful weapons, showing innovation and flexibility that Russia, with its larger but slower military machinery, struggles to match. These unique selling points turn the strikes into not just military victories but strategic tools that reshape global perception. The price of this operation is another factor worth analyzing. On one side, we have the cost for Ukraine. Manufacturing or modifying drones for such long-range missions may cost a few thousand to tens of thousands of dollars per unit. Launching dozens of drones might add up to a few $1,000,000 at most. On the other side, we have the cost for Russia. The damage to skyscrapers, businesses, and infrastructure easily runs into billions. Insurance companies face massive claims, businesses lose productivity, and the government spends heavily on emergency responses. In terms of price comparison, the cost-to-damage ratio is staggeringly in favor of Ukraine. This is a modern example of how warfare has shifted into an economic game where the side that spends less but inflicts more damage gains the advantage. Russia may try to downplay the costs, but the truth is evident in the flames that engulfed its capital. As we move to the conclusion, it is important to remember that this event is not just about Ukraine and Russia, but about the future of warfare. The Ukrainian drones turning Moscow into a firestorm is a sign that wars will increasingly be fought with unmanned systems, artificial intelligence, and asymmetric strategies. Nations that fail to adapt will find their cities vulnerable, their defenses outdated, and their people exposed. For Russia, this was a humiliating demonstration of weakness. For Ukraine, it was a proud moment of innovation and resilience. And for the world, it was a wake-up call. The conclusion we can draw is that security can no longer be guaranteed by traditional military strength alone. Technology, adaptability, and intelligence are now the keys to survival. As the conflict continues, both sides will likely escalate, but the lessons of this strike will remain in history as the moment when drones redefined the meaning of power.